welcome to Jess Saying Live. I'm Daily Mirror columnist Jessica Boulton, and it's been a great week for dramatic endings. It's the last of Neighbours tonight after 37 years. We've just had the end of the Wagatha Christie trial, and we're building up to the great big Love Island final. So I'm very excited today to say what our special guest is one of my favourite islanders. It's Chris Hughes. Thank you, Chris, for joining me.
That's right, Jess. Good to see you. You're right.
I'm good, thank you. Very good. First of all, let's talk a little bit of Love Island because we are just days away from the final.
Yeah.
What do you think of this year's crop of Islanders?
I think it's just been full of absolute drama compared to sort of like any other series. I think this series has been like, it's been that one where you've not necessarily had, chance to kind of explore too much personality with everybody. There's not been times where you can tune in and it's been quite amusing in terms of like laughter, but there's just been so much drama, which has kept us obviously all entertained like mad. So, I mean, in terms of that, it's been fantastic. Yeah, it's the first series, do you know what, since mine, where I probably actually sat down and watched almost every episode. So,
really?
It's quite proud of my effort to commitment there to Love Island.
I'm liking it because I was wondering, like, is it really weird for you to sit there watching it? I know it's a different villa this year, but it must be so odd because you know what happens behind the scenes, and just to see someone else go through what you did.
Yeah, I think I watch on and I'm watching it from like a production point of view, so I'm like tuning in and I can kind of like picture what's going to happen in the way that things are going to pan out, kind of how the producers will see it in their heads, and that's obviously what pans out to make the kind of drama that it does. And that's kind of how I watch it now. I watch it with like analyzation instead of just enjoying it for what it is. I'm kind of like thinking ahead, thinking, oh, that's going to come back to bite them, or that will come up in like the, when it comes like where they had like the cinema kind of
movie night, my new favorite
movie night. And so I watch it from that point, but it's still, it still makes for great TV.
It does. It really does. And it's like, what was it? I remember that night itself, but obviously you and Olivia, you came third in 2017 for anyone watching that needs a gen up. And it's the year when Kem and Amber won. And, fantastic year that was. It was series 3.
Yeah.
And what was it like on that final night when you're standing there and you're waiting for the result?
It's that's a great question, really. I kind of think it's just, I'm probably saying this now because I came third, but it kind of like the result didn't really like, I don't think anyone thought about the result as if it kind of mattered whether you came first or fourth out of the finalists. Because essentially you were all there. That last week is like the most enjoyable one as well, because you kind of know that no bombshells are going to come in the villa. You can kind of relax, enjoy it for what it is. You've all obviously came through like a long journey together. Everybody's had their sort of like their own individual twists and turns and whatever. So I think it's just that whole night of the final, you can just enjoy it. You stood there and it's kind of exciting because you actually see, we have obviously like a live audience there at the villa. You can actually see different faces because you haven't seen anyone for 7-8 weeks. 9 weeks, whatever. Yeah, it's kind of like seeing like, oh yeah, who are you guys? Because it's like, we haven't seen anyone for that long, and it's just a bit surreal. You're excited, obviously, because then you're going to get to speak to your friends and family you haven't spoke to. You get your phone back. Now, there's loads going on, but it's just fun. You can just enjoy it.
I was going to say that point that you made about it doesn't really matter if you win because you've all been on to such amazing success. Yes, it's a great prize fund. But really, I mean, that's nothing compared to what the careers that you've all gone on to have afterwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Would you, how much would that have impacted you had you won, do you think? Would it have made a difference?
Yeah, I think if you win 50,000 or 25,000, whether you split it or steal it, I think, that's always, that's like an awful lot of money to anybody. I think, even though obviously you after Love Island, you can go on and have success and make money in your own kind of forms, or you can kind of, I'm quite picky with what I do for work in terms of I work with brands I want to work with. I do obviously all the racing and the cricket now for the BBC, the racing for ITV. So I've gone, obviously, the way I sort of earn money is I feel like I have a job now. I feel like I'm, that's my job in a sense, presenting sport and doing different bits and bobs. So obviously £25,000 is, you know, it's a massive amount of money. And I mean, I would never turn my nose up at that any time in life. I think it's always very helpful.
But you have everyone that's in there now is going to go on to a great career, basically, anyway, regardless of how they do at the moment, I guess. But what's it like, and can you give any advice those first few days when you leave the villa, because you're in that sort of unique position of knowing what that's like. You've gone from being someone that no one kind of really knew, or you were just known on Instagram beforehand, to suddenly everyone knows who you are. You're going back into this full-on world after, you know, 8 weeks in isolation, effectively. What is it like, and what advice would you give them?
Well, when we came out, I've always described this the same, right? We landed in Stansted Airport, and we were told by like the producers in Marcy, who's one of the girls who is a psychologist. She was just basically saying, look, I've got to understand that this series has been massive. You know, when you go back, you know, people will know who you are. People are talking about it all the time. Like, it's huge. It's blown up.
Yeah.
And we kind of like strapped ourselves in for that. But when we got back to the airport, I've never seen a reception like it. It was like welcoming back a World Cup in like sports team. Yeah, honestly, it was ridiculous. Like, we couldn't move in the airport, but there were people there, like randomers with like signs they've made, and like people taking photo. Obviously, all the press with that. It was just absolute chaos. Like, that's the first time we kind of witnessed anything like that. So it was just so full on. And then we kind of got like ushered through the airport, into like a bus, and then we went and all stayed at one of the hotels in London. I can't remember which one it was. One of the Park Plazas, I think. But then we obviously spent a couple of nights there, and we had After Sun coming up, obviously, at the end of the week, and we were filming little bits and bobs in the meantime for that. But it was just, it was mad. It was like just really surreal. And then I remember it so well, though, and I remember that's when we obviously see our friends and family for the first time, because they come down to the airport, and that's obviously a lovely moment. But yeah, just crazy, like nothing like you could really kind of expect.
You can't imagine, anyone that's not in that position can't imagine what that would be like, because your life has completely changed. I mean, what was the first thing your mum said to you? Because I know you're really close to the family.
I mean, they just like put their arms around you and say, they're really like proud of the way you were. You know, they really enjoyed watching it. It's great to see you again. Like, nice to have you home. All that kind of thing. There's not. I think it's really hard in that first instant moment for them to say anything else, really, because it's not really like they can summarize anything, because, you know, it's just a nice embrace, and it's just the first time you've seen everyone for a long time. It's more like, it's quite overwhelming. So it's actually hard to go. I didn't really take anything in what people were saying to me. I was just like looking around. I was kind of a bit gaunt, really. Actually, there was a video, I think one of my friends or someone videoed it, but I was kind of like a bit like, it's just a bit all over the shop. I kind of was a bit like, whoa, just overwhelmed by it all, really. To actually,
in the headlight,
I didn't know what I can't remember anything anyone said to me.
Well, I know you've given some advice to Gemma Owen, didn't you, before the villa? How did you know her, and what advice did you give her?
Well, I didn't necessarily know her. I knew her dad, so I did the Crystal Maze with him a while back, and I bumped into him at different times whilst doing the horse racing or at certain race courses. So we've obviously got mutual interests. And I was up at Chester doing the racing, and Gemma was up there, and then we bumped into each other in a bar, and I just you know, I knew she was going on. I just said, look, good luck, enjoy yourself, just be you, because in the end of the day, you're in there for so long, you forget that there's cameras about you, and that is the truth. Right? No one ever thinks that there's cameras around. You're just living your own world, and it's just like, you can't be anything else but yourself, and that's just the easiest advice to give, because if you start trying to be somebody else, it becomes so obvious. It's just not sincere. So, and she's been great. I mean, she literally has been herself. So
she has been herself, and she's not let Luca walk all over her. That's for sure. She's been quite. What do you just to talk about the couples that are in this year, and because you kind of know how much we see of what actually goes on, but who do you think out of this year's crop are your favourites to win, and who do you think will win? And
I think from like the last 3 weeks, I think Ekin-Su and Davide are literally like absolute certainties. Only because I'm just going to say this how it is. Like the girls have carried the boys this year. So I've always said if you had to, if whoever wins, apart from Davide and Ekin-Su, right? If any other couple wins, the boy needs to just look at the girl and be like, "Thank you," because I feel like literally the girls have been the ones with the personalities. The girls have been the ones who've, you know, provided us with that entertainment aside from the drama, if you know what I mean. And I think the girls have been really strong. And you know, bar Davide, I think Davide's been great entertainment. He's obviously had one-liners. He's been funny. He's been charming when he needs to be. He's kind of had the full package. He's obviously very good-looking lad. So, and obviously Ekin-Su's very funny. You know, when she went in, she was like just a dream for like a producer's dream, I'd say, because she like lit it up really. She went in there with, she was just full force, and great TV. And I feel like the two of them together have been the most entertaining as a couple, I think, as a whole.
Yeah.
So I think it's an absolute. I think, do you know what? It's just a certainty that they'll win it, to be honest.
I that Louis Vuitton quip he made at that time about. I mean, there was some good funny ones on that.
Yeah.
Are they your choice for who you'd want to win as well, or are you?
Yeah. Purely off the basis that I think he's the best. He's the best guy on there. So it's just So I think they'll win. Yeah.
No, I tell you what, I'm personally gagging for the final for someone to turn around and go, "Do you know what? I'm keeping all the money for myself."
If there's ever a year, I tweeted this about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I said, if there's ever a year, basically, I can't remember what I said, something along the lines of, do we actually think the people will steal this year? I think this could be the year. But do you know what? I know Davide and Ekin-Su will win. And I know that they declared love now and they're together. I can't see it happening. I just don't. It's just not that show where people steal money. It would make great TV. I've always said this one. Whoever steals it and then goes, do you know what? At the end, you could steal it, right? You could become the villain for 45 seconds. But then if you say, look, I'm going to donate it all to charity, like you've done it's a fantastic cause, isn't it?
Yeah, that's actually a brilliant idea. Yeah, you'd be a villain for a little bit, and then it's who. Okay, the tricky question then, because you think Davide is going to win, but when you say this could be the year then someone does steal it, who out of the boys did you think might be the likely culprit to do that?
Well, initially I thought that I've always thought that Davide and Ekin-Su will win it, and I just thought maybe that Davide could steal it. But this is going back a couple of weeks now. I just don't think that's the case. I actually don't think it will happen now. Honestly, no. I don't think any of the other boys would have, because I just don't. They're like, and I don't think any of the girls would have. I thought if there's ever a chance, it might have been Davide and Ekin-Su, but not now, not anymore.
Now, a couple of days ago, we obviously saw the baby challenge, and I saw that you tweeted your happy 5th birthday things to young baby Cash.
Yeah.
Continuing the single dad life there. Yeah. For anyone watching, baby Cash is your baby from Love Island that you kept. Is he? Yeah. He's at your dad's, is he? Is that right?
He's at my mum and dad's house. Yeah, I actually stole him when we left the villa. I said I like 100. No, it was After Sun. So the final After Sun episode, when we were all back in the country, I was like, I've got to steal him after. He can't, and they're very expensive. Do you know that? They're those babies, because they're all like wired up together.
Yeah,
it's kind of like if you take a baby out of that, you've got to like reprogram the other one that you're bringing in. So it was carnage. I think I caused nightmares with that. But I just couldn't live without him. So I took him back to my mum and dad's. He's chilling there, and he's like, you know, was a big part of my Love Island journey, Cash Hughes. So obviously I only had him for a day, but it was good fun.
Yeah, you see, is that your longest lasting relationship from Love Island, actually? And
well,
even
it is,
yeah,
it is, yeah.
Even though you passed him off to the grandparents.
Exactly, 5 years going strong.
Have you replaced his batteries?
Well, he doesn't cry. It's the thing. I took the batteries out. So the battery's out. He's still heavy baby. They're actually really heavy, those babies. But I got him a new outfit when I was back from the villa. I actually think a company, I can't remember who it was, sent me an outfit for him. Yeah. So I kind of put that one on him. So he's got a new outfit now. So he's freshened up.
I love it. I love it. You see, this shows your paternal side, Chris. This is good
Exactly.
timing for
Exactly.
for going ahead. Now, one of the things we've seen a little bit in the Villa this year is there has been a few very, very dramatic moments. And obviously, Jacques left and was very open about his sort of own battle and what he was going through mental health wise afterwards. And he, I think it was very brave that he made a decision to leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuck to it. What did you think watching that? Because you've spoken very openly about mental health in the past and your own struggles, if you don't mind me asking.
Cool.
Saying. Yeah. What was that like for you when you saw that, and how did you think it was sort of handled? Has that sort of the perceptions around this, has that changed even in the time since you were in the Villa, do you think?
Yeah, I just think, like, first and foremost, I've actually spoke to him since he's been out the Villa. I think it's always hard when you're in that situation. I kind of know I kind of can imagine what he'd have been going through in terms of the way that he was, not necessarily the way he was struggling in the Villa, but just struggling in general. You know, it is tough, and you're coming into a big wide world. So I wanted to make sure he was okay first and foremost. And we spoke on Instagram and exchanged numbers. We keep in touch now. Like we text quite a bit. Do you know what? He's a lovely lad, and he's obviously young. You know, he's still young, and we're chatting about rugby because I'm a rugby league fan as well, and
right.
We were like reminiscing over that kind of thing and just having a bit of like chit chat and stuff. And because he's young as well, he's obviously got a rugby career still ahead of him if he wants to go back into that. But because a lot of stuff, you know, people would say he was coming across potentially like childish and not grown up on the show in terms of some of his actions, but he is young and he made a very adult decision to look after himself, which I think he deserves a lot of respect for, because that's very easy to ignore. And he did what we try and encourage people to do when we do mental health campaigns. We want to encourage people to speak out and seek help if they need to, or speak to people. And that's exactly what he did. And that's a very like grown up thing. And that helps set an example to other people as well who were struggling, just to not struggle, because he could have stayed in there and he'd have struggled. And he's not doing himself any favors. He's not being true to himself. And it would have been easy to think of everything else and to think, oh, I'll stick in here. But no, I have like the utmost respect for what he did. I think that that showed a lot of character.
Yeah, I think I totally agree with you, because I mean, obviously, I mean, not saying because of the show, but obviously we know that there has been awful tragedies associated with people that have been on the show, because mental health is such a big problem across the board, you know. So obviously in your year you had Mike. And you've spoken yourself about how you've been to a really, really dark, and I know you obviously went to Flackstock at the weekend. How is it for you to sort of think about these sort of issues now? How do you cope with those sort of things, and how do you sort of get your head round these sort of tragedies?
Obviously all of them are absolutely horrendous, like heartbreaking, just so tragic, so heartbreaking, and you know, just all the circumstances are just so sad. And for me, I mean, it's something that I didn't just struggle with post Love Island, before Love Island. I mean, I struggled as well. And you know, I really feel like the best work I've done since is been the mental health campaigns I've done, the stuff I've done with Top Man and Calm, the charity campaign against living miserably. You know, the amount that coming out of Love Island, I had a huge platform, and being able to kind of promote stuff that I've been through, and I know what people are going through, and be able to kind of portray that to a large audience of people who will listen was great. And some of the campaigns we did I think one of them got over 40 million impressions just on Facebook alone, which was insane. So obviously, you know, people listen, people do watch, you know, mental health campaigns, and it's so important that conversation keeps going, because, you know, people do struggle and it's still stigmatized. And there are men out there who think, you know, that they, you know, can't talk about their feelings because they're a bloke. And, you know, that's not cool at all. That's not good for anybody. So it was, awful, you know, some of the stories, but, you know, a word on like the ITV team, you know, from the production team to the execs to the psychologists, like I had all the help in the world. And I think I can speak for you know, I can only speak for myself. I don't know everybody else's situation, but if ever I needed help, which I have done since the show, I would message Mike or Lewis. They're the execs who put me on Love Island. They're, you know, close friends of mine now, and they would look after me. You know, they put me in.
Even now, like after, you know.
Now, like I could ring or text or WhatsApp Mike, Lewis, anybody I know from Love Island, but even a junior producer, right? And I'll tell you now, in 24 hours, they'd have me an appointment booked in somewhere to go and see somebody, and they take that weight. They take that weight off my shoulder, because sometimes a lot of people don't know where to go, and there are, you know, that's what we try to say. You know, 24/7 helplines out there. There's people who will talk to you, who don't know you, who won't judge you if you don't want to speak to friends and family which are close to you. And yeah, I mean, the help and support I've ever had since Love Island is been unbelievable. Like so good, and it gives me that comfort and reassurance that, you know, if I ever struggle again, or if I have my moments, I can pick up the phone. And it's and I surround myself. But personally now, you know, I find my coping mechanisms in terms of like keeping myself busy. Fitness is a big thing for me.
Right. That
like
really
I feel great in the moment, right? I feel good at the moment in myself, but I'll go and play golf, right? I played golf in Abu Dhabi the other day, and it's 44 degrees. And I felt I was struggling afterwards, but I wanted to go to the gym, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to the gym when I get back to the hotel, and I'm absolutely shattered. But I thought, if I don't go to the gym, it'll play on my mind all day. So I went and got it done, and I felt great for the rest of the day. It's kind of like you could do things in life to make you feel better, like serotonin, getting out outside in the sunshine. You know, that lets off, you know, good endorphins, and that's a big thing. Like, there's so many little things you can do. Getting up in the morning, like cold showers for me is a good one. Like, all the toxins it releases. Like, it's just so many things you could do for your body to feel alive again, and they're my ways of dealing with things. And I just talk to people. People know. I think it's good. This is the thing. People know my struggles and know that I've been through stuff. So I'm not embarrassed, or I'm not worried about talking to anybody about it, because I don't have to explain. So once you've got past that point of being yourself and talking about it to other people and them understanding, you haven't got to have that conversation when you're struggling again. You just bring it up, and then you've got that support around you. It's like you only need to mention it once. Do you know what I mean?
And I think it's so great that, like, people like you that have talked about it and have said about it. And I do think in the last few years, more people are being open about talking about it. And I think, you know, a lot of that's down to people like you, you know, and I think we've had a massive sort of shift a little bit. And I know there's still stigmatization, you know, but I think it's definitely moving in the right direction, it seems. And I know this is going back to some of the couples there, and I know because you spoke to Gemma beforehand, there was some sort of criticism about Luca and this kind of idea that he was a bit sort of like the toxic masculinity side, and he was being a bit possessive. And of course, Adam Collard went back in, and he was previously accused of being gaslighting. This time round, he seems like a completely different person. But, you know, what do you think about that kind of male side that's sort of coming out of some guys?
Do you know what? I think I've always said we're all individuals, right? So I think obviously it's the people they're with. If obviously, you know, it's essentially, it's no one's decision who they're with in life, obviously, apart from, you know, the people that are with them. And I think we're all individuals, which obviously, if we were all robots and all wired up the same, you know, the world would be a very strange place. But I just don't want to, I can't judge people on what I see, because do you know what? It's a tough environment, Love Island. Like, when you're in there, everything's very accelerated, and you are falling for people, and you have genuinely strong feelings, and you know, your emotions can get the better of you. It happened to me. I cried like a baby, probably. I didn't, you know, all the time. When something affected me, I cried. That's the way I know, but that's the way I let it out and stuff. And that's the way I cope with things, because I struggle. I'm quite an emotional person. And people deal with emotion in different ways. So I don't, you know, it's hard. It's, you know, I've obviously watched all these episodes of Love Island, and there's moments in there where, you know, I'm watching it and I think the way that certain people have been treated isn't fair, isn't nice. I won't say which specific moments, but I think as a viewer, you know, we can notice when, you know, the treatment of certain people, you know, hasn't been great. And I guess that's just the way that some people are.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's like, yeah, I guess that's literally the way that some people are in certain environments. Whether people are like that in day-to-day life, I don't know, because I don't know them. You know, we're watching them on a TV show every night, but I don't know the full ins and outs of them. But yeah, there has been moments on there where I think Tasha's been great as like a Love Islander, and I think she's a very sweet girl. And I just think, you know, the way that she's been sort of like spoken to as such hasn't been fun. And I felt for her at times, because she can. Do you know what? This is what I was. If she struggles being in, like, when she's voted by popularity in the bottom three, and she's upset by that, she's allowed to be upset by that. Do you know what I mean? Who's like, that's no one's right to tell her whether she can be upset or not. No. If she wants to be upset, if you have, as an individual, have a problem with anybody in this world being upset, fucking, like, keep it yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's not your issue. Yeah, and that never will be your issue. And because firstly, it's not about you. So, and secondly, it's someone else's emotion. You don't know how someone else feels. So, I think when you're visibly there and you can see that, it's you know, let someone cry if they want to cry. Let them be upset. I don't know why we live in a world where people aren't shoulders for people, and they'd rather rub them up. That's just not nice. And I think she's been great. I think she's been a great Love Islander.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I feel like I feel, because it must be hard. It must be hard knowing that you're, you know, the whole country's voted you least popular or whatever. It's going to hurt some people. People are different.
But also, if you haven't been in that situation, why are you judging the way someone feels if you haven't even been in that situation?
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, everyone remembers this sort of row that Luca and her had at that particular point, and you're very right on that. And but away from the villa in your time there, like you've so many projects and stuff on the go now, and then obviously ITV racing being one of your main big things now, your passion for it. And I've got to say, had a little look through all your pictures, and damn, you got a big selection of three-piece suits you're wearing, looking great.
Oh my god, honestly, yeah, I'm wearing suits like all the time. Obviously, racing, you're suited and booted, and I love my suit. I actually love getting on a suit. Do you know what I mean? Because that's when I know it's showtime. I'm working, I'm grafting. So yeah, chuck me in a suit and I'm quite happy.
And are you enjoying doing that whole role of are you enjoying doing the role of ITV racing? Is that you know, is this your passion now?
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Like racing, I've been involved with racehorses since I was 10 years old, and the team at ITV, you know, all of them are like my best mates, and when we're together, it's the best fun. I not only look forward to the coverage in the horse racing, but everything else what comes with it. You know, being with the producers and the directors afterwards, after racing, when we can wrap up the day, have some dinner, just chill and have a beer and just enjoy each other's company. We're a proper little family there, and it's the same with the BBC, with the cricket. You know, we're great, like very close knit teams. And I obviously knew nothing about like the industry and what that was like working for you know, big productions like that beforehand. So I kind of never knew what it would be like, but it's so lovely. And yeah, about 4 years I've been with ITV Racing now, and love every minute of it.
And that was you there at Royal Ascot, looking very smart in your top hats and tails.
Yeah.
I saw you were out at Goodwood for Ladies' Day the other day. It sounds like you're having an absolute ball.
Yeah, that was great.
And you've got your other project coming up, which I'm very excited about, Queens for a Night.
Yeah, Well, talking of stigma, there's like even it was great being able to be a drag queen, right? Because I don't know loads about drag queen, and I learned so much. And do you know what? It's an industry. It's an entertainment industry, and I'm working in an entertainment industry when we're doing, you know, the sports stuff, so the cricket, the horse racing. And for me to step foot, this is why I wanted to do it, right? Because I'm stepping foot into another form of industry, so like an entertainment industry. And it's great that I want to get into drag. I was looking forward to it. I wasn't necessarily looking forward to seeing myself dance because I'm not a good dancer, and that's what I was doing, right? But I
But
had
we
a
knew
mentor.
you were a good singer.
Yeah, Margot was my mentor, my drag queen mentor. I learned so much. And it's like, do you know what? We still live in a world where people are uncomfortable to be who they are or who they want to be. And it shouldn't be like that. And you know, we should live, but by now anybody should be able to be who they want to be and comfortably be who they want to be, because we're individuals. Like I just said earlier, like, how boring would the world be if we were all the same? Like, every single person is an individual. And it was great just to be able to kind of, you know, showcase a bit of that. Like, do you know, I loved getting into drag. I absolutely loved it. And now I will watch drag when it's on TV, because I've learned a lot from it, and it's unbelievable. And the talent is unreal.
How long, for anyone watching that doesn't yet know, the show is going to be a number of celebrities who are getting a sort of masterclass in becoming drag queens.
For one night only.
For one night
live
only.
audience, drag show, having our talent, and we got to perform it to the best of our ability. But we're being mentored. We each get like a drag queen mentor, and there's all different talents there. And do you know what an amazing show, great show that will be. I genuinely think that will be a really big show going forward, because it not only was it so much fun, it's just great. It's great primetime TV, that.
And it's a really good message behind it as well. Were
Absolutely.
you worried that there might be sort of some flack because, you know, people saying, oh, you shouldn't be doing it if you're not really a drag queen, or you shouldn't be doing that? Was there any worry about that, or do you think everyone's going to see it very positively?
Do you know what? We were with professional drag queens. We were people who do this for a living, and they embraced it more than we did. Like, they couldn't have made us feel more comfortable. And like, it's an amazing form of entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, it should be, everybody should know about it. It should be on primetime TV. It should have a Saturday night slot, because it's the world we live in now. That is just fantastic entertainment, and that's the way it should be. And people need to start embracing that, and because, you know, these drag queens are talented, you know, and it's good fun. And everyone has a story as well. Like, all these drag queens have their own stories. So interesting.
And how long did it take you to get transformed?
Hours. hours and hours. Not just that, I had 3 costume changes. I won't tell you too much, but I had 3 costume changes during my performance, which obviously you've got to get fitted for. The costume designers were the same ones who, same people who work on like RuPaul in America and the UK. Like, they've done outfits. Yeah, I think they've worked with like Little Mix in the past as well and done outfits for them. They're like, they work with loads of people. They're amazing costume designers, and that was fun. But then obviously the makeup and stuff takes hours. Like, it's a full what's it called? Makeover transition. Yeah.
What was your sort of favorite bit of it getting done? Was it sort of like seeing the makeup go on? Did you struggle with the like fake eyelashes? What was it?
I liked it. Do you know what? I really liked it. I actually really enjoyed becoming a drag queen, like becoming somebody else, like that alter ego. Like, I genuinely enjoyed the whole transformation. And I weirdly quite enjoyed the person I was in that outfit, because I was like an exterior version of myself.
Yeah.
You know, I was a confident, sassy queen, and I quite enjoyed it. And it was I had my wig on. That was painful, to be fair, because obviously we're filming it TV time. You've got a wig on and it's glued, and it's like someone's pulling your fringe. Like, pain is beauty, they say. And all the lashes. Like, I loved it. Had a clean shave. I shaved all my legs. I was proper involved.
Going fully committed.
Yeah.
Has it given you a new appreciation of what some ladies go through for the sort of beauty? You know, because I mean, the Love Island girls do go through a lot of stuff. You know, the eyelashes, everything, when they get glammed up at night.
I respect it. Yeah.
Yeah. New respect.
I now see why it takes quite long as well.
Did that used to annoy you when you had someone who took quite a long time to get ready?
No, not really, because they get ready in their own time, and I'm like, I can get ready in 15-20 minutes. As long as I've got my clothes lined up, I'll get ready quite quickly. So yeah, it doesn't really bother me.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough. And I just think the drag queen sounds amazing, and I can't wait to see your pictures and stuff like that from it. But what would you rate yourself out of 10 when you were a drag queen? Then you've got to ask the question on the attractiveness scale.
Looks, okay, I'll go off looks and ability, right, or talent. Looks, I give myself a strong 9, maybe a 9.5, because I kind of went. I don't want to give away what I was wearing. I had 3 outfit changes, and it was everything, all the costumes, the wig, that brought it all to life. So look wise, I was having myself. Talent wise, I tried my best. I don't know. I'll have to wait for you guys to decide.
And just to say, one of the other things you've been doing recently is you joined a sort of debating team, I hear, with it was the Strongbow Ultra Goat Debating Society. This was Strongbow doing it for the Ultra Dark Fruit range, and it was you versus Mark Wright.
Indeed, it was
the best footballer of all time, which I love. You found this, and you went full on into like research onto this, didn't you?
Do you know what? That was such a fun night. Yeah, we obviously we were debating on stage and to a live audience. We've both got a microphone. We had like 3 rounds, all right. So it was almost like going properly head to head. And I put some serious research into that. I was debating for Ronaldo being the greatest of all time, the GOAT, and Righty was debating for Messi. And I lost my debate. I still stand by the fact I think Ronaldo is the greatest of all time. But I lost my debate. But we had fun, like me and Righty going head to head. We obviously both love our football. We're very passionate about that. And we were very passionate about our individuals as well, which obviously you need to be, because it's a genuine debate then. And I haven't had a genuine debate since I've been in school. So I enjoyed it. I loved it. And great to work with the Strongbow team. That was just a wicked night, It was a proper cool event. And I've never done an event like that. I don't know anybody who's done an event like that. So it was so much fun.
It seems like a really fun thing to do, and I'm sure you were really good at it. Well, you've got some rivalry going on with Mark right now.
Yeah, definitely. And they had load of debates there. They had like what's better, sort of like Nando's or KFC in terms of like chicken debate, the best drag queen debate. They all sorts, covered all topics. But it's good to go head to head.
And are you going to tackle next time you both do like Soccer Aid or one of these things together? You're going to be going after Mark, right?
Well, I need to get. If we did Soccer Aid, we'd be on the same team. But I actually was saying to her, I need to get in that Soccer Aid side. I don't know how I get on it, but because obviously Kem's well involved. I think he's scored a right handful now. So and England haven't won for a while, and I can play a little bit. So I'm desperate to get in that Soccer Aid team.
That's right. I love it. Talking of Kem and the people from your year on Love Island, who do you still keep in contact with? Are you still good mates with Kem? Because you two are still
me and Kem are still close. I chat to him every week, really. I meant to go and see him last weekend. I didn't get down there. It's like his 1 year restaurant anniversary. So I was going to get down there. I didn't have time. I was up in Cardiff last Saturday, so I missed it. But no, we're still good friends. Montana, really close with Montana. She's like Mon's like somebody I can go to for anything. If I need to talk to someone or get a female's advice or anything, like I'll always go to Montana. She's she's a really close friend of mine. Love her to pieces. And that's and still speak to Amber here and there. Sam Gowland off my series, Theo. Yeah, I mean they're all great people. So
which is great that you still got that connection. I found it quite sad going back to bring down the mood, but I found it sad when you watch it now and it's Laura and in not seeing Caroline. Is that quite emotional for you when you watch it now?
Yeah, I think obviously Caroline's always going to have a Love Island legacy. She was amazing, and I think what Laura's done since coming in to that role has been amazing. I think she's done so well, and I think it just works. And it's great. Obviously, Laura and Caroline were so close, so I just think it's the most fitting, suitable replacement you could have had. And obviously, Laura's great. She's amazing presenter. That's what she does. It's her bread and butter, and she's got so much energy. She is Love Island. She screams Love Island at me as well, because she's just full of life, bubbly, funny, very attractive as well. Which and you know, it's great. And obviously Ian Sterling as well, they've got their connection there. So they obviously work in sync, and it just works. I mean, I did After Sun the other day. I had the best fun on that,
Yes,
honestly.
yeah.
I had so much fun, and I was just smiling the whole way through it, and yeah, I loved it. I said to Laura after, I said, "This is like I've had the most fun I've had in ages. Just really enjoying myself."
Yeah,
And
she's had a lot of hate online and things like.
it's just I don't get it. Do you know what? She's done amazing. It's not easy. You know, it's absolutely not easy what she's done, and she knows she's great, and that's the main thing. I mean, I think it doesn't matter who you are or what you do. Right? I think people always criticize people. People also hate it when people do well. And if someone gets a good job role, someone will always criticize. It's the world we live in. It's very weird, but she's faultless, and it's mesmerizing that, you know, people actually sit there and even have the energy to try and criticize people. I mean, who, when they literally couldn't walk in those shoes themselves for 1 minute. So, I mean, yeah, she knows she's good, and that's the main thing. That's all that matters in life. I think when you're
fall flat on my face in her shoes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. No, she's yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah. Oh no, that's really, really good to hear. And now, it just on that one we touched on earlier, Adam went back in the Villa, first Islander to ever go back in the Villa.
Yeah.
You've had a sort of mixed time love wise afterwards, and we know you're a single dad to Cash.
Yeah.
You know, would you consider going back in?
I really, do you know what I'd say? I loved my Love Island experience, and I think it was such a journey and such a whirlwind, and I genuinely loved every second of it, that I thought if I went back in, I kind of, it's like, you know, when some people come out of retirement and they've had an amazing career, then they retire and they come back out of retirement, it's not the same. It might be like that, and I wouldn't want to ever tarnish something that was such an amazing experience for me. So it might not be the same next time round.
Of course, exactly.
Circumstances are different. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, I mean, I would never say never to anything, but I know it's not right now, obviously not. But I love Love Island. I think the show's great, and I love my time in there. And I just, yeah, I mean, I did my whole experience. I did it with Kem, not just with Olivia, but I did it with Kem as well. So it's kind of hard to going back in there on your own would feel a bit different, I think.
I think it probably would, and I know you know. Do you still, you know, want to be sort of like see yourself as wanting to settle down soon, etc.? Because I know you have had a difficult time. I mean, we've seen you very public relationships.
Yeah,
and
I wear my heart on my sleeve. You know what I tell everyone? So I never I think when I like someone, like it's apparent to everybody. I mean, I struggle to not wear my heart on my sleeve. I think that's just who I am as a human. And I don't always think that's a bad thing. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, I could be a bit more reserved. But then if I'm being reserved to the person I'm with. And that's not me. Like, I feel like, you know, the way I am and how I am with people, it's like the way I wear my heart on my sleeve. It's kind of, I don't intentionally give the person that reassurance, but I think it just helps the relationship in itself, because that's just who I am. But no, I'm all right at the minute. I'm obviously single.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, you know, split up with Annabelle about 9 weeks ago now. You know, I wish her all the best. Hope she does great with her golf and everything else. And you know, I always look out for her results and see how she's getting on and stuff. And you know, she'll always be a friend of mine. You know, I don't dislike any of my exes. I never will. You know, it never gets to that point. You know, where I don't dislike anybody. I don't have time for that. And I just wish everyone the best and stuff. And yeah, that's just me. You know, I move on. I live on my own. It's quite. No, I get lonely on my own. To be fair, I get quite. I'm a bit of a. I know I'm a bit of like I'm a bit of a people person. I like to be around people. That's how I struggle a bit when I'm on my own, because I do a lot of thinking. Then it's never right. It's never fun. But yeah, I live on my own now. But I've made a couple of friends where I am, which is nice. So I see them every now and then. But no, it's all right. I'll just deal with it.
And do you watch Olivia's show still? That she's got their new show.
I actually haven't, but I know, I'm sure it's doing really well. I mean, it's quite a good show for this day and age. I imagine it's quite entertaining and quite really relevant to like the world we're living in. So I probably should watch it. I haven't actually managed to catch an episode. By kind of like the time Love Island's finished, I'm shattered, to be fair. But
I'm not surprised with everything.
but Olivia's like smashing it. She's doing really well. So yeah, hopefully
Jesse's doing brilliantly. You know what I say.
Well, all my exes are doing well. Yeah, they're all doing good.
You've got good taste. That's why, Chris.
I know. All my ex-girlfriends are prevailing. It's great to see. But yeah, Jess is doing well as well. Yeah, she's still great. So yeah, she's over in LA back and forward. So fair play.
No, it's like, and you know, so I mean, I'm sure it won't be long before we'll see you do whatever you want to be, settled down with another baby Cash on the way, or you know, waiting for a little bit longer.
One day.
One day we'll see. And if you could just summarize what love lesson you learned from your whole time since the villa that you would pass on to the Islanders after the final, that would be, what would you say is the lesson you've learned since?
Oh, what a question. Jesus. I think you've got to, I just think you've got to trust your own feelings, right? And if something feels great, roll with it. And if it doesn't feel right, I think it's so important to listen to yourself, because I think you can hurt yourself by going through the motions of where you're not necessarily right for somebody or something. But also on the flip side of that, just enjoy it, have fun, you know, and be supportive. I think as long as you're supportive and you communication is the one key to any relationship, I think, because with communication, you can resolve things and you can prevent things which can affect you. And I just think for two people to work, I just think the communication has to be so good.
Yeah, no, you're right. It always comes down to that. There's always a little thing that just people don't quite understand each other, and it can all fall apart. And I think that's a really good message that you should take on board. I've got one last question, which is snog, marry, or pie on this year's finalist girls. What would be your verdict?
I would. Oh, sugar, man! I haven't thought of this. You might have to.
Always a hard one.
Until I've given you an answer. I would. Oh my God! I would snog Gemma.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would marry Tasha.
Mm-hmm.
And I would pie. I'd probably pie Ekin Sue, because I feel like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I
think she'd be the one that would take it best, wouldn't she?
I wouldn't pie any of. Yeah, she'd take it well. Yeah, I actually probably wouldn't pie any of them. I actually think the girls have been so good this year.
You're right.
Like I said earlier, like they've carried the show for me this year.
They really have. They really have. Chris, you've been an absolute star. I've really enjoyed talking to you today, and thank you so much. I really love it. I'm going to try and catch up on that debate that you did with Mark Wright for the Strong Bow debate, because that sounds good fun. So, and I can't wait to see you as a drag queen.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. And you. Bye.
Bye.